Chapter 16. When Hannah returned, Lisa wore a serene smile. "How did it go?" she asked Hannah. Surprisingly, there was no one around. Hannah smiled and exhaled. The thought of escaping and freedom brought on a broad smile with both of them. Hannah couldn't remember when she last felt a simple feeling of pleasure. Perhaps it was when she moved into an apartment with Gabriella. Smiling because she thought of all the freedom she could have soon. "That's what I'm afraid of. They will not leave us without a watchdog," Lisa said, helping Hannah open the leather and iron cuffs secured around her very thin, festering ankles. The cuffs dropped on the cement floor and made a loud clanging noise. "Sorry," Hannah said, stopping and glancing around. "Don't worry, if they had heard this, they would be coming down the stairs by now." Lisa stood and tried to walk, but she leaned into Hannah, who caught her. "Here, take these flip-flops. You need something on your feet, Hannah. It's still cold." "Something is better than nothing," Lisa said, smiling up at Hannah. "You look too weak to walk, Lisa." "I don't care. This is my only chance at getting out of here, and I'm taking now with your help." Her pleading eyes glanced up at Hannah, looking for help. Lisa held onto Hannah's shoulder, and Hannah led her through the dark corridor and to the back of the cellar. "I don't think it's locked. We can get out this way," Lisa said, pushing against the wood door. Lisa couldn't shove the door open with her weak arms. Hannah stepped in front and, struggling, pushed open the doors, and she climbed out, and then she helped pull Lisa out and to her feet. "Where to?" Hannah asked, looking and raising her face to the setting of the sun behind the trees. "Into the forest." Hannah glared at Lisa. "It's the only way. We have very little food, but all we need is water, and I have some here." She patted the small pouch across her shoulder. "There are a number of streams along the path that we're traveling, and there are dewberries to eat and water. We can survive without eating, but not without water." Hannah knew what Lisa had said was true. "I never ate dewberries before." They started out walking fast, with Lisa hobbling along and dragging one leg. Then she slowed her steps. Hannah glanced back at Lisa, who limped on one leg and then the other, and each step, Lisa grimaced because of the sores on both her ankles. "They don't look too good, Lisa," Hannah said, after she turned and went back for Lisa. "Don't worry. I can walk. When I get home, we can get a doctor. I won't slow you down." Hannah didn't believe her and didn't care. She took her arm and helped her along a worn path to the woods. Before they could reach the thick of the pines, they heard the sound of dogs. "Wolves." "I know the sound of a wolf," Hannah said. "A pack of wolves." "I think they're dogs, but they're inbred with wolves. They keep them in kennels." "We don't have a problem yet," Lisa said, hobbling along. "Once we get inside of this forest, you won't hear them. They usually chase the girls and then stop. That's how they find us, because it's difficult to get out of the brush. They caught me and another girl. I can't remember her name," Lisa said, as though it was important that she remembered. "It was the first time I tried to escape, and we thought we were on the other side, and all we did was walk around in a circle and ended back here. That's how they keep us here and find us without problems." "Why didn't we take the road I came on?" Hannah asked, stopping and placing Lisa's arm around her shoulder again, and this time dragging her into the forest. When they were out of the clearing where the large mansion stood, Lisa stopped to take a needed breath. "We can't risk taking that road because of the witches who drive along the road. I don't know who they are. I've only seen the one called Tycia. She likes girls our age." Lisa reached inside a bag strapped across her body. "Here, eat something." "I've eaten already." "No, you look like you need it," Lisa said, handing her a piece of moldy hard bread. Hannah looked at it. "Go on. You need something in your stomach. It won't kill you. Think about the baby. You're eating for two." Lisa shot Hannah a weak, closed smile. Hannah snatched the bread and lowered her head and ate all of it, looking around as if she thought at any moment someone would snatch it from her hands. Looking up between bites, she managed to say, "Thank you." Hannah's eyes wide and frightened but determined. They stood a moment after Lisa sat for longer than they planned. Lisa's breathing short and wheezing. The loud sound of her breathing signaled to Hannah that something was wrong with Lisa. Breathing through her mouth, Lisa asked, "When was the last time they fed you?" "I can't remember," Hannah said. Lisa took one step and then another as she limped along watching Hannah, and then she staggered. Hannah helped her through brush and around piles of pine cones and dead leaves. "That's what they do to the girls they keep to perform their rituals. They don't feed them. We were next. When the girls are hungry enough, they drug them by putting it in their food. For some reason I escaped that. But of late, I had noticed that I didn't feel like myself. Before the witch left, she brought me a white dress and said I'm to wear it when she returns. That's when I knew this was my last chance to leave this place, or I would disappear like all the rest." "How do you know that's what they're planning on doing to you?" Hannah slowed and guided Lisa around branches that had fallen during the last wind and snow. The ground still wet in some places, and mounds of snow in the shade hadn't melted. When they led the girls out of their cells, they were all dressed in white, and they had blank stares. The kind like someone had taken possession of them. I've seen people drunk before, but the girls weren't drunk. Someone had to almost carry them out. They didn't put up a fight. Even drunks put up a fight if they don't want to do something. But these girls went along, and then you see and smell a fire, and there's this awful smell like burning hair. This happens each time when there's a new girl." "How much longer?" Hannah asked, winded from walking and almost carrying Lisa. It felt as if she had traveled miles into the forest with Lisa holding on to her shoulder. Hannah's skin itched from the bug bites. All she was wearing was a sack-like dress that had no zippers or buttons, and flip-flops that gave no protection from the elements. She noticed that Lisa didn't mind the bites on her legs. It was as if she didn't feel the intrusion. But Hannah scratched at her legs until they were bleeding. When the last light from the sun struck through the pines and Hannah looked down at Lisa, she saw that her skin had turned almost blue, and her legs had a thick dark layer on both ankles that reached almost to the knee. Hannah wondered how long Lisa would be able to walk. She didn't want to alarm Lisa, but she did ask, "How much further, Lisa?" "If we get to the stream before dark, then maybe we have a chance." Lisa's voice didn't seem positive, and it was as if she was holding something back. "I think I see the stream. Better yet, I can hear it." Hannah took off running. "Don't run. You might disturb the wolves around the stream." "Wolves? I thought they were dogs. You didn't tell me about the wolves." "They're the witch's watchdogs. They hunt in packs. If they were only dogs, we may have had a chance." Lisa stopped and glanced at Hannah with a sad, defeated glare. Her eyes glistening with tears that had pooled. They had come so far. She reached for Hannah's hand and took it. "If I don't make it, and I think I won't, tell my family what happened to me. That witch has got to be stopped, and the vampires who enable her." "You're going to make it if I have to carry you," Hannah said with a smile. She knew that was impossible, but it sounded good to her and to Lisa. The thought kept Lisa on her feet when she knew she couldn't walk any further. Lisa stopped, and her breathing, short and choppy, became extreme as if she had to fight to breathe. "What's wrong?" "I have asthma. They took my inhalers from me," Lisa admitted. "Why didn't you say something?" "I thought you would leave me." "How could I do that? I needed you as much as you needed me. And I wouldn't leave you anyway. You're all I have. I could have let you rest more. If you had. We couldn't have gotten this far. One of need to get out of this hell. We will both get out of this hellish place. Seeing the water at a distance and smelling it, and listening for sounds, encouraged Hannah that they had a chance. "We can do this, Lisa. Just think what your mother will say when you show up after being away for so long. My mother is going to keep me in the house and never let me out. My father will probably say, 'See, Lily, I told you she would be back pregnant and bare feet.'" Hannah and Lisa stopped, gazed at each other near the water's bank, shook their heads, and broke into laughter. The laughter made Lisa feel better for a second. Hannah leaned down to fill the water bottle when Lisa thought she heard something. Turning her head in the direction of the woods, she said, "Run, Hannah. They're coming. The wolves are coming." Hannah stood and gazed around. "I don't hear anything." "Do as I say and run. Save yourself. I can't go any further like this." She glanced down at her legs and her chest moved up and down with a loud wheezing noise coming from her mouth. Lisa took Hannah's hand. "Don't ask me to go with you because I can't. Go. Go. I'll be all right. Leave me and think about your baby. And yourself. Your baby needs you." When Lisa said, "Think about your baby," Hannah took off in an angry sprint. She dashed and jumped over tree limbs, eyeing an oak tree ahead of her, with limbs heavy and spread out like a giant hand with fingers. She could do it. She could climb that tree. It would be easy. All she had to do was get up there and sit until the wolves got tired and left. Nearing the tree, all she heard was growling and then silence. She stopped, stood at the oak tree, breathing hard. She remembered climbing the tree in her front yard, and that was when she was 10, and fell and broke her arm. She looked up, measuring the climb. Suppose the same thing happens again. She weighed her options, and found that she had none but to get out of the area as quick as possible. She rushed off in the direction of another thickly wooded area, forgetting all her fears. When she heard the loud sound of a wolf's growl, and Lisa screaming, her legs pelted over a broken fence, she kept running, trying to put the sound out of her head. The thoughts of Lisa out of her mind, but she couldn't. She collapsed on the side of a road and stood behind a tree to catch her breath. She had never been this tired before in her life. When she looked up, her eyes settled on a sign that said West Virginia Farm Road. She knew that sooner or later there would be an interstate highway near. But where and how long would it take to get there walking in the dark of the night?